Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you isn't romantic, it's not soft, it's not sweet, it's not the kind of love advice people post over sunset photos with sad music playing in the background. And that's exactly why it matters. Because most people are taught how to fall in love. Almost no one is taught how to remain steady once they're there. They're taught chemistry, they're taught butterflies, they're taught attraction, passion, obsession, longing. But they are almost never taught discipline, perspective, emotional control, inner strength. And without those things, love becomes chaos. People think relationships fail because there wasn't enough feeling. Usually, they fail because there wasn't enough wisdom. Too much reaction, too much ego, too much fear, too much dependence, too little character. And this is where Stoicism enters the room. Not as coldness, not as detachment, not as pretending not to care, but as a system for loving deeply without destroying yourself in the process. The ancient Stoics understood something modern people still struggle with. You cannot control another person, not their moods, not their loyalty, not their timing, not their choices, not whether they stay, not whether they go. You can only control your judgment, your actions, your responses, your standards, your peace. And once you understand that, love changes. You stop trying to possess people. You stop panicking every time energy shifts. You stop turning affection into anxiety. You begin to love from strength. Today, I'm giving you 11 Stoic rules for love. The truths nobody teaches you. The principles that save good people from avoidable suffering. Some of these will challenge you. Some may sting a little. And number 11 is the one most people learn far too late. Let's begin. Rule 1. Never make someone your source of happiness. This is where nearly everyone goes wrong. They meet someone. They feel alive around them. They feel excited, chosen, seen, and slowly, without noticing it, they hand over the keys to their emotional life. Now their mood depends on a text. Their peace depends on attention. Their confidence depends on reassurance. This feels like love. It is not love. It is dependence wearing romantic clothing. A Stoic understands that another person can add joy to your life, but they must never become the foundation of it. Because anything outside your control that becomes your foundation will eventually shake you. Love them, enjoy them, appreciate them, but build your inner life somewhere they cannot reach. A person should be part of your happiness, never the source of it. Rule 2. Observe actions. Ignore fantasy. Most heartbreak begins in imagination, not reality. Reality gives small data points. They cancel plans. They disappear for days. They speak beautifully but behave carelessly. We promise change and repeat patterns. But instead of reading actions, people read potential. They fall in love with who the person could be, and then suffer because reality refuses to become fantasy. A Stoic does not date possibilities. A Stoic dates facts. Who are they when stressed? Who are they when bored? Who are they when they don't need anything from you? That is the person, not the version of them your hope created. Rule 3. If they can leave, let them. Now this one frightens people, because attachment always wants guarantees. It wants promises, control, constant certainty, but no human being can be forced to stay meaningfully. You can guilt them, pressure them, manipulate them, but you cannot make love voluntary through force. So the Stoic rule is simple. If someone wants to leave, let them. Not because it doesn't hurt, because dignity matters more than begging. Because anyone who must be convinced to love you will make you pay for it later. Because chasing someone who is withdrawing destroys self-respect faster than rejection ever could. If they choose distance, give them space enough to reveal themselves completely. Rule 4. Don't react to every emotional storm. Relationships contain weather. Some days warmth. Some days tension. Some days confusion. Immature people treat every passing cloud like the end of the world. One cold message, panic. One bad mood, drama. One disagreement, threats. A Stoic understands moods move. People get tired, triggered, distracted, overwhelmed. Not every shift requires confrontation. Sometimes the wisest response is composure. Wait. Observe. Speak later. Many arguments die naturally when not fed immediately, and many relationships survive simply because one person stayed calm. We continue, because this is where love stops being poetry and starts becoming character. Most people want romance. Very few are prepared for responsibility. They want connection, but not the discipline required to maintain it. And that is why so many relationships begin beautifully, then collapse under the weight of unmanaged emotion. Let's keep going. Rule 5. Set boundaries early, not after resentment. This is one of the costliest mistakes people make. They tolerate things in the beginning to seem easygoing, to seem kind, to avoid conflict, to keep the peace. They ignore disrespect. They excuse inconsistency. They accept crumbs while calling it patience. And months later, they are full of bitterness. Now they explode over something small, when the real issue was 100 small violations left unspoken. A Stoic does not wait for resentment to become a language. They speak clearly at the start. This works for me. This doesn't. I respect you. I also respect myself. Boundaries are not punishment. They are architecture. They create the structure love can safely live inside. Without them, affection becomes chaos. Rule 6. Respect is more valuable than intensity. Many people confuse turbulence for passion. They think if it feels intense, it must be meaningful. High highs, low lows, jealousy, makeups after dramatic fights, constant uncertainty mistaken for chemistry. But intensity can exist in toxic situations just as easily as healthy ones. Sometimes easier, because instability creates adrenaline, and people mistake adrenaline for love. A Stoic values something quieter. Respect. Do they speak to you properly? Do they consider your time? Do they honor your trust? Do they behave well when angry? These things are not flashy, but they determine whether love becomes peace or damage. Choose the person who respects you over the one who excites your wounds. Rule 7. Stop trying to win every argument. Ego has ruined more love than incompatibility ever has. People enter conflict with one mission: be right, not understand, not solve, not reconnect. Win. They gather evidence, keep score, use old mistakes like weapons. And slowly the relationship turns into a courtroom. Two people arguing for victory, while intimacy dies in the hallway. A Stoic asks a different question. What matters more right now? My pride or the relationship? Sometimes you are right, and still wrong in how you carry it. Sometimes silence is wiser than the perfect comeback. Sometimes listening achieves what logic never will. You do not need to win every battle. You need to protect what matters. Rule 8. When trust is broken, believe behavior. This one hurts, because hope hates evidence. Someone lies. They betray you. They repeat patterns. They apologize beautifully. And hope says, maybe this time is different. Maybe they mean it now. Maybe love can fix what character keeps breaking. A Stoic listens to apology, but studies pattern. Words are easy under consequence. Behavior is expensive. Anyone can cry after being caught. Anyone can promise after loss appears possible. The question is never how sorry they sound. The question is what they consistently do next. Trust should be rebuilt by evidence, not emotion. And if the pattern remains, accept the lesson, not the fantasy. Now pause here, because these 4 rules alone would save millions of people years of suffering. But we're not finished. The final 3 rules go deeper. They deal with attachment, endings, and the hardest truth of all. How do you love someone without abandoning yourself? And rule 11 is the one most people only understand after heartbreak. Now we arrive at the final 3. And this is where love becomes honest. Because anyone can speak beautifully in the beginning. Anyone can be warm when things are easy. Anyone can promise forever when nothing has been tested. But when disappointment enters, when distance enters, when loss becomes possible, that is where character is revealed. Let's finish properly. Rule 9. Love fully, but stay yourself. Many people disappear inside relationships. Slowly. At first it looks harmless. They adjust routines, drop friendships, abandon goals, shrink opinions, mute parts of themselves to keep harmony. They call it compromise. Sometimes it is. Often, it is self-erasure. A Stoic understands something vital. Love should expand your life, not replace it. You were a whole person before them. You still need purpose, standards, private strength, a life that exists beyond romance. Because when people abandon themselves for love, they eventually resent the person they sacrificed for. Stay loving, stay warm, but remain rooted in who you are. Rule 10. Grieve endings without bitterness. This rule separates mature people from wounded ones. Sometimes relationships end, not because anyone is evil, because timing failed. Growth diverged. Needs changed. Life moved. Painful truths do not become false because they hurt. Now many people respond to heartbreak with bitterness. They harden. They become cynical. They treat future people as punishment for past people. This is suffering multiplied. A Stoic grieves cleanly. They feel the loss. They honor what was real. They learn what must be learned. Then they release the poison. Not everyone who leaves ruined your life. Some people came to teach limits. Some to reveal wounds. Some to show you what you value. Loss can be painful without becoming identity. Rule 11. Love is a gift, never a guarantee. This is the hardest truth, and the one most people resist until life forces it on them. Nothing in love is guaranteed. Not permanence. Not loyalty forever. Not endless desire. Not immunity from change. People are free. Circumstances shift. Health changes. Minds change. Hearts change. And if you demand guarantees from love, you will live anxious, constantly checking, clinging, trying to freeze what was never designed to stay still. A Stoic chooses gratitude over possession. If love is here today, appreciate it today. If someone is loyal now, value it now. If connection is real now, be present now. Because trying to own tomorrow often ruins today. Love deepens when you stop gripping it. So, there they are. The 11 Stoic rules for love nobody teaches you. Build inner happiness. Trust actions. Let leavers leave. Stay calm in storms. Set boundaries early. Choose respect over intensity. Drop ego and conflict. Believe patterns. Stay yourself. Grieve without poison. Treat love as a gift. Read that list again, and you'll notice something. These rules are not about controlling another person. They're about mastering yourself. That is the secret modern dating culture keeps missing. People keep searching for the right partner while neglecting the right mindset. But the strongest relationships are often built by two people who know how to govern themselves. So if you're in love now, bring more wisdom to it. If you're healing from love, bring more perspective to it. And if you're still waiting for love, become the kind of person who can carry it well when it arrives. Your heart needs warmth, but it also needs discipline. Let balance is where peace lives. If this helped you, subscribe for more deep psychology, strength, and modern wisdom. And tell me in the comments, which Stoic rule did you need to hear most? See you in the next one.